Welcome to the podcast, Something Like That with Nav. Today is Azmyl Yunor. I'm going to talk about his brand new tour, which is John Bangi Blues Tour, happening at 4 great locations. And at the very same time, we're also going to talk about what's been going on with the scene, especially with all the raids and locations and many other great things about the industry we'll chat about and we'll be chatting about in this particular podcast. So stick around and don't forget to follow us on our website, www.sltvwithnav.com. Also on our social media pages, you know the whole deal, right? Everything is available right here. Check it out. Click follow and subscribe. So let's get on with the show. It's good to have you back, man. How's it been? How's it going?
Okay, it's been good. The year start off on a steady roll.
I see that. You're here, you're there, you're everywhere, and you've been churning out music, doing shows. I lost track. I completely lost track. I couldn't keep up with you, man. I seriously couldn't keep up with you. It's like the moment I see, shit, he just did a show here. Shit, he did a show there. It's like everywhere right now, which is a good thing. But
that's why the road kind of cleared up. Suddenly, I would have maybe, I think like January only had few. Then suddenly one more came along. So it's been as it comes along lah. I don't. These things aren't planned ahead. I guess suppose more band gigs. Bands have to play longer lah. Plan maybe ahead because they're different people, right?
Yeah, timing, scheduling, and all this stuff.
Yeah, I solo so senang je. So people just say okay. Then I thought I was going like this coming up in March, right? I'm going to do a solo tour, the Northern Leg.
The John Bangi Blues Tour.
Yeah,
that's a nice one.
Yeah, that one sambung from that's been on and off depending. So thematically it's like the tour, just the nature of me being solo and shows coming along the way. So my tours hasn't been like one stretch. People used to that. So I did a bit here and there with the band. Like in this case, the venues and maybe logistics couldn't accommodate the band. So I play solo lah. But it's still the idea is to push the album, which is...
This is like watching a series on Netflix. Season 1, this area. Season 2, this area.
Betul. Actually, yeah, one stretch, kan? Suddenly, boom. Yeah.
A break, then one whole season, you go here, there, take a break for a while, then come back, which is kind of a brilliant idea, actually. But how's the response been so far? I mean, on your previous league?
Yeah, been good. I mean, in the sense that, people always say, oh, yeah, man, physical, like CDs out, everything streaming. That's not the case, man. I mean, that's what the maybe status quo wants you to think about. But, us who gig and have merch is been moving, Yes, the gigs might not, we play smaller gigs, it's different landscape. So you don't tell them, hey, I'll pay here if you pay me like, let's say $1,000. That's not how it works. You play there, is you're usually like, I just tell them you got a merch table, cool. Whatever, token fee you can have, or, you maybe just provide me accommodation, makan, then play lah, so you might have a tip jar. So you gotta improvise that way lah. I think in the way kind of industry way of doing it is, of course, everything's got to be upfront, right? So
okay, but
this is a troubadour's route.
What I admire about your tour is you pick the right locations, because this is the conversation I've been having with a lot of bands out there. It's like, stop picking the popular spots. Most commercial one, you go for the main cities only. You go for the main cities and the main spots at all times where people I wouldn't want to use the word sick and tired, but then again, they're spoiled for choices. So they don't tend to appreciate it much more because they know, like, just screw it. Like, if I don't have it this weekend, next weekend, I can have another show. If I miss this, I can go for another show. They have that kind of mentality. But the locations you pick, especially for this John Bangi Blues Tour, I'm looking at Ruastor, which is in Georgetown.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you have your Space 08000 at Sungai Petani, and then you have this another location in Penang again, which is Georgetown, Penang House of Music, and this one caught my attention, which is Lumut. This is the very first time I'm actually hearing someone doing a gig in Lumut. Maybe they have, but I haven't come across. So why did you pick these locations for your tour?
These are all emerging spaces that I think came up the last couple of years. So And usually this comes out when, let's say, I got to know about this place in Lumut because when we toured, we played in Ipoh. And
Nice.
one of the guys in the band, I think the band Hamasi, the bassist, said, "Hey, abang, I know somebody in Lumut, you might want to check out." I did ask, like, Perak mana lagi, outside for Ipoh, can you recommend? This circuit, this venues change, bah. They don't, some don't
Yeah.
last, move on. So then he recommended it, so I just called me number, told him what's happening, and they've been organizing, I think it's called Lumot Art Fest or something like that, for the couple
Okay.
past years. So they want to have it this year, but I think it's got postponed. But I'm just going to go to the space, this Laman Karya Lumot, and play. Check it out. I mean, for me, this when I'm going alone like this is also me checking out these places, making new friends. And then maybe next round I'll bring some other buddies because we the folk gang like me, Bayangan, Sounds of Kites, and my other
Okay.
friends. We are planning some acoustic tours with 4 3 4 acts. So this is me also kind of like meneroka lah. I'm peneroka lah. Check out
Okay.
these places.
Which is
And these guys
brilliant,
been
man.
inviting me. Yeah, these places are also inviting me. Like I would post a tour announcement and then they would leave a message. Hi, when you coming like this? This how this Tani happened. So he left a
Nice,
message
man.
on for Twitter, said like, hey, you want to come to SP? So I'm Tani. Oh, cool, yeah. So then check out the venue, saw some other bands that played there before, underground bands. And these are really nice because the last tour I did in November, where Undi tour, where I went from Johor
Hmm.
to Singapore, and I played all the smaller venues. It's very nice. It's outside of KL. You see the spaces are a lot more. They're all in one. Like Johor, there was, and even like Ruas. These are the cafes, record stores, but there's
Okay.
also a live venue attached to it. You know,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's
So
different, which is nice
different.
because, like I said earlier, people are so used to having a whole lot of gigs happening in KL, but the ones
Yes.
outside of KL, no one gets a chance to see the band perform live. So this is one of the best things to do. Is like if I had a band, I would do exactly what you are doing right now, man. This is brilliant,
Yeah.
man.
It's
Take it out, man. Take it all the way, all different states. There's what 14 states, 14 states in the country right now.
yeah.
Sorry,
That's right.
pardon my geography. I suck at it. So 14 states, and there's so many towns out there, so many studios available. So it would be
Yeah.
great to check out all these people. But how about the crowd, the audiences that you have? Are they any different from what you perform in the Klang Valley?
Of course, different. I mean, like small towns, the support is different. They're more willing. They're more open. Actually, a lot of people might think KL PJ is most open. Actually, they probably, like you said, there's just abundance of things going on. So when you go to the small towns, and that's how like touring circuits are born. They were born. If you look at North American tour circuit, it was born out of the underground bands in
Hmm.
the like Ramones, etc., just hitting the punk bands actually. So going to towns that bands would never go to, which is a shame because there's always music fans or kids wanting things to happen, so you go to them. Like you said, I'm still perplexed that only the underground bands tend to tour a lot in smaller towns because they I don't know maybe they don't have the thing like expectations. I think once you're kind of mainstream or indie, you want a big stage, you want
Yeah,
things promoted. When I see just hit the road, buddy.
rock and
Rough it
roll,
out.
man.
Yeah, rock and roll, baru lah rock and roll.
Yeah,
Ni
exactly.
semua manja ni.
No, but as a musician for yourself, like in terms of logistics and profiting or making some money out of this, is it a profitable tour to go in as in such at such locations, or do you like think like this is just more of a branding exercise and at the very same time spreading your music and appreciating? I mean, to other audiences out there, which is it for
it's,
you?
it's all of that actually because my overhead is very low. It's just me when I play solo. Like I'll give you an example. It's also timing. Like last year when Malaysian ringgit was really bad, and we had planned me and actually two other guys from the folk gang. Wanted to go Singapore, but only three of us, and one of them was our Singaporean friend. Hello.
Okay.
So from KL was me and Sounds of Kite, Shahid. So we drove down to Singapore, and so I moved a lot of merch because and it covered well because the ringgit and it was
Yeah.
Singapore. So it's not like it's not you're not gonna come back rich, but you break even and enough to carry on with your art. I think that's very important. We in that sense we've always been sustainable. I think
Oh,
maybe
okay.
more. mainstream stuff is like, oh, big money, but well, is there ROI? And that's the term they like,
Yeah.
right?
Sure, because I was checking out really some gigs lately, some of them, and I don't want to mention names. I've noticed something that, I mean, there's a lot of effort put in to organize a gig, and especially in the Klang Valley. But if you look at the ratio of the turnout that came there and how
Yeah,
people show their appreciation, it was more like a hanging out thing than actually
yeah,
coming to check out the band. It's just I
exactly.
came there to check out the band for the sake of, my friend was playing, so I just want to see him, just want to support him. But to appreciate the music wasn't really there, because you can see by people how they sing along and how they pay attention while the band is on stage. Sometimes they're just there, hanging out, talking with other friends while the band is playing. It's like the band is the background music for the whole
Yeah.
session for their hangout spots. But when you do shows as such, like what you're saying, like going on tour, people tend to appreciate it more, right?
Yeah, they pay attention, man, and they know your work.
Yeah.
The small towns also, it's great because it's different, lah. And if you're a musician and you're kind of like disillusioned with playing music, just look at where have you been playing? Have you just been playing TJKL? Yes, you play a lot, and you might make a roll it in, but after a while, it's an existential thing, right? You need to get out. I
Yeah.
think that's the main thing. For me, it's always several things in one. Like for me, I don't like taking holidays. So these trips when I go, it's for me, expanding my horizon, finding new places. I always believe in the philosophy that every year you got to go to at least minimum one place that you've never been to in your life, and that could be just locally. Doesn't have to be
That's
like,
right. And I
you
I
know,
used to think that way, and then I don't know what happened. Everything changed, man. I used to travel a lot locally, a lot. I used to do that small towns, just randomly pack my bags. Just
nice.
put my bags and then put my passport just in case. Go down to Puduraya and then like main tikam lah, which state, which
Ah,
town I'm going to visit. Just buy a ticket and go there and let everything work out on its own way. No planning, no whatsoever, man.
that's
I
fun.
used to
That's
miss.
great.
Yeah, I miss doing that. I've got to start doing that again. Just
Yeah,
randomly,
just do it, man.
just buy a bus ticket, sit down. Okay, let's go. Temba. Find a cheap
Yeah,
hotel, enjoy the local food. Just
yeah,
mingle around with people over there, take a few pictures, and then come back. That's about it. No
yeah.
expectations whatsoever.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
sorry, talking about music earlier, that I've also another thing that I've noticed. I, I mean, I don't know whether you feel this way. It's the gigs that's been happening locally. I've noticed there's a lot the audiences who come there. Majority of them, I'm not saying majority, like to a certain, I could say a ratio of 50-50 at least. It's like always it's the musicians coming to watch other musicians, but people who, I mean, strangers who don't know the bands or people who appreciate music, you find that those kind of crowds are not really there per se. Have you noticed that it's happening a lot lately? I've seen on social medias, I've seen all the bands sharing other bands' gigs and all, which is good, But then again, the audience ratio seems to be higher on the musician side. So where is this so-called, where are they, the ones who are not musicians? Why aren't they being in these locations checking out these bands?
I think one is just if you go to band gig, the ratio of more people in other bands, more people are there from the other bands also, right? Like bands, four
Yeah.
people. There's four bands playing, so you darab lah 4 times 4, 16. And we end up dead sometimes. But this is where each band member, I think, needs to be responsible lah to at least, tell friends.
Yeah.
Not just one band member in the band, like their official, whatever social media, but your own friends. So, but I've been, not in my shows lately. Actually, mine's been opposite. I've been getting a lot of, because one is that when you play gigs with different acts, the idea is that you want to convert the fans of that that the other bands brought, and they might like your
Yeah.
stuff. That's the most important thing. It's sort of like you're kind of a preacher. You're trying
Yeah.
to convert. Anyway, but all I'm saying is that what the other thing is also that I've been the last, I mean, at least this year's gigs that I've been playing, I've been new people who just I've never met, and they're not musicians. Especially my gigs at Medikaria. I think Medikaria's built up a certain kind of clientele, or people are more open to come there. And I've been getting new people, first timers coming, digging my stuff. Friends were introduced, bring them there. So I have, maybe those are the ones you said are band gigs, where I think most of them tends to be just other bands. Indah Kabar dari Rupa lah, looks
Yeah,
great.
exactly.
yeah, but yeah.
Okay, I did check out a few recently, and I was like, hey, wait a minute. Half the guys, even though they were not performing on stage, but most of them are like other band members from different bands who came and check out the whole band performing down there. I understand the whole support thing, which I appreciate it, and I really say that's a brilliant thing to do. But it
Yeah.
seems like if this is going to be happening for every gigs, where it's only going to be visited by bands only, this is going to be a sad thing. But thanks to you, I mean, thankfully you don't face those kind of issues at all. So I just hope that
Yeah.
people will just start dragging some friends who don't know anything about the scene to these kind of gigs to check out for
So
themselves, man.
it's
That's
your
a happy
material
thing.
also lah. I think it's what kind of songs you write and genre. And
Yeah,
the other day I was having a conversation with I can't remember who. I was just joking that like like yeah, they call me singer songwriter folk, but it's not in season, man. You just stand in one spot, the whole world will turn around, you'll be out of trend for a while, then it's just back to you. So you just keep doing what
yeah,
you're doing. So instead of
very
chasing
true.
trends, by the time you're chasing trends, the train's left already, So
Yeah.
you just do what you do. So kind of timeless lah, maybe the kind of genre that I do.
Nice, man. Actually, that's your music has always been what, like I said before, I said it many times. You came on the show so many times, and what I like about your music is keeping it real. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
this is what I'm going to say. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to play. I don't have to worry about anything about chords. I don't have to be too politically correct. I just say it
yeah,
how it is. You just keep it
yeah.
real. That's one thing I admire very much on your music till today. Anybody who says you want to find them some real stuff, I say, "Dude, check out Azmyl stuff, man. You'll get
Thanks,
the
man.
whole message directly in his track itself. No hidden messages. You get the hint directly from there. But
Yeah, and got much
of
you can bring
course,
back.
yes,
Yeah,
that too. That too.
yeah,
And of course, you've been touring a lot, and we've also seen a lot of issues taking place in some of the gigs or gig houses that's
mm,
going on. I mean, that it started out with KL. KL seems to be very famous with that, KL and Slango. That
yeah,
halfway through the gig, poof, authorities come in, authorities just raid up this whole place. And I think the reason one was what, Penang, if I'm not mistaken? Had
yeah.
one,
It was
right?
this venue that I'm gonna go this song. I played there in November, Ruas Storm. That's a
Okay.
wonderful venue because downstairs a cafe. There used to be a record store in just a house, I think. So I used to send my stuff to sell, but I never been there. So when the
Mm.
pandemic opened, I went there last year on tour. It's nice. It's a whole shop lot, one row. It used to be, I think, a backpacker. So downstairs they made a record store and a cafe. There's a venue above. I think above is a store, and they're still planning upstairs what to do. But that venue got raided, yeah, because apparently gigs has been happening there, but apparently they didn't have a permit. But I guess that's a legit reason, maybe. But
Right.
still, I think the manner in which this keeps on happening, I think enough lah. It's like raiding a KTV, dodgy massage parlor, the way they raid gigs. These are people who are. You talk about
Yeah.
healthy, like this drug free, etc. And people making it for themselves. I think that's just gotta stop. Yes, no permit, fine enough. Like, why you gotta? They took all the equipment out, and this is the same old thing that happens in most raids. They
No,
take
but
equipment out. Yeah.
I don't understand why up to the extent of getting a raid. Why is this permit? What is the issue with this permit thingy? Are they getting their permits approved? Is it too expensive, or is it like doesn't fall under the jurisdiction of whatever? I mean, technical laws they have that saying that I don't know for safety reasons or whatever. What do you think is the issue actually for this permit one? Do you have any idea? Have you spoken to anybody in that sense?
Yeah, most of the issue is very unique to the different town councils because permits are under the town councils like DBKL and PPJ. So I know from every time I play venues, for me it's also where that I would hang out, talk with the owners. I'm usually last to leave. I leave with the
Okay.
owners. So I was saying, find out what's going on. And most of the time, like the permits are just like KL. I know Wilayah has to be expensive because it's just this blanket fee, which covers nightclubs, those huge nightclubs, to like even small
Okay.
venues. So it's impossible. That's not, and I guess they just don't have the political will to spend some time understand the community. It's a blanket thing. So and you want to organize a small gig, there's no other alternative. You like, I think the ones in KL, you got to put 20,000 up front. So that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So unless you have
20.
so that's why you get all these big corporate sponsored kind of like free events, and that's the attitude I think that a lot of the public who aren't aware of like gigging and all, they
Mm.
think all music is free and they're large. So Slango, similar thing. I think is about the similar sort of licensing and permits issue. Uh, so there needs to be recognition of this kind of like the informal economy of gigs, which is like this is very low overhead, it's community based. To me, this is like, yeah, it's like organizing a sports tournament. If you want any equivalent, to me, it's that level. It's similar. Like, you don't rate a sports, you know,
Yeah.
tournament. You just maybe no problem. Okay, question. You don't take the ball and racket whatever way, right? So I think that recognition of I think music gigs as a legit activity, uh, a cultural activity that needs to change. Like, the attitude hasn't changed. I think that's why you're ending up with this kind of raids. Because one friend even said one venue got raided, and the authorities first thing they asked, "Where's the girls?" They think they're raiding a KTV bar, lah. Yeah. So no, I mean, like, so it's no, this
Oh
isn't that
man.
kind of venue. Yeah, so it's still stuck. That's very like Pause Place 2005 was the same thing. Even 2001 and the late
Oh, this
90s.
this has been going on for a very, very long
Yeah,
time. I remember from the early years when I used to be in the scene and all this stuff. They had the same issue and they still haven't found a solution to it. Because I was
yeah,
shocked, like you said earlier, the 20,000
yeah.
fee, or rather for the permits, which is absolutely ridiculous. This is not some Westlife concert or whatever you can think of, where you need
Exactly.
to pay a
Exactly.
deposit of 20,000. If the guy had money for doing to pay a deposit of 20,000, I doubt he'll be doing gigs, independent gigs, man. He'll be doing something
Of
else
course.
altogether.
Of
No,
course. That's it.
but
Yeah.
but has there been any solution or maybe some consideration being taken place right now? Is like with some of the authorities, have they ever spoken about it? If any organization said that no, we have to stand up for this and come up, has anything been going on?
And the community has been trying to engage. Like when Madekaria when things started opening up, and there was all this. So I was playing Madekaria a lot, and Brian, the owner, and Kevin J, the comedian. Bunch of us got together
Mhm.
from the community, and they did try to engage with the Datuk Bandar, and but I don't think any kind of like concrete solutions have come up. Recently, also, I think this organization Think City is working with Datuk Banda, and they invited us. I was one of many guys from the scene lah. They invited me. This guy from UNESCO,
Okay.
because KL wanted to become this creative hub, and to get new UNESCO status, you need certain things, criteria. So that's the thing. These are the things that it can't be top down. If you
Mhm.
want to make KL into like say, a creative center, you can't just declare it and make things happen. You have to engage and accept the diversity of different, forms of entertainment or cultural activities that's out there, because it's already there. We're here
Yeah.
doing things, but you're stopping us. Like if you just take time to understand and hey, okay, hey, come on board, then you don't have to always. Sometimes how there's the peruntukan goes to the wrong people, and they can't run a show, and it just becomes a white
Yeah.
elephant lah.
I think it's mainly the communication breakdown between their divisions, or rather their bodies. You have that
Mm.
between the state councils. Between the municipal council and
Yeah,
state government. Those kind of things.
yeah,
And I think they should have one voice.
betul.
One centralized community to monitor the whole thing and just come up with the breakdowns of gigs, understanding what's gigs in the first place, independent scene. Till
Yeah,
today, it's been what, 30 years, and
yeah,
nobody has actually figured that out till this very day. And
yeah.
even like when you talk about Pruntokan and stuff like giveaways and all, I don't want to mention names. I don't want to say who and don't want to say what. Even that also, there was a major screw up, which I've noticed a lot, because some of them were supposed to receive the funds, did not receive it on time, and instead of
Betul.
helping the bands develop and becoming better, they became debtors.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
jadi pengutang already. It's like they
betul.
can't do proper shows after this because payments were not received. They couldn't pay
Yeah,
it out there. So instead of helping them, you made things worse for them. They had to cough out their own money. Till this very
betul.
date, some of them I've heard they haven't received anything yet. So it's a mess when it comes to the independent scene. I don't know why is this happening
Yeah,
and how long is it going to be, man.
yeah, and that's why, like for me, I just stick in the DIY underground scene, because I can do things on my own. That's things happen. If you want to go next level, then you got to deal with this kind of all this crap we just talked about. So
But
susah
it
lah.
is
But yeah,
sad, man.
yeah,
It is
sad
sad
lah.
because, like, say, you have something really good. You have something absolutely good. The concept of it and how you take it, how you promote the music, how you promote an artist as yourself, because it's also an example for many other artists out there or other bands out there. And this thing is being done on a DIY basis when it could be done on a bigger scale. You talk about promoting domestic tourism, you talk about promoting arts and culture. For them, the definition of arts and culture is traditional dances and maybe some stage play.
Yeah. It's still that binary, kan? It's like traditional versus it's not and no, it's traditional versus the popular or whatever, it's pop, it's like no, it's the spectrum is not binary, it's not different. The attitude still. I always joke at my gigs lah. I just joke at my gigs lah. Maybe because these guys don't have talent and they're kind of jealous at musicians and like, don't need them last week. I get joked about that.
They still couldn't figure out. But I had so many conversations before. It's like, and people ask me, hey, why can't you get involved in it? I say, I don't mind getting involved, but where do I start?
Betul.
Who do we see? It's like, I understand the predicament that most of these organizations, venue owners and all bands and all have, but where do you start? Who do you see? There's been talks and talks and talks for years, but there's never a solution to this. So which is the body right now? Who do you have any idea where do we fall under? The independent music scene?
It's not on the radar at all, I think. There's all these little Napoleons, and it's everybody just juggle their own turf. I always have these conversations with either venue owners or like some more experienced gig organizers at gigs, hang out, talk with them. There's this underlying frustration that's always there lah. That everybody can move. We are there. The artists, the community, the organizers, whoever, everything, we're ready. But we're making things on our own. But look, if you guys can't get your act together, the people in power who's supposed to make things happen, then it's our loss. It's not your loss or their loss. Us collectively, it's a shame. Plus already we're no renowned, like I think in terms of underground music, because their network is a lot more global, and you'd be surprised. Like a lot of people know about Malaysian bands, etc., especially from the underground scene overseas. So in other words, the DIY, you guys can't get it together. It's okay, we'll do. So that's what I'm doing. I was like, I can't wait. This train's moving. I'm not gonna sit around. There's a lot of that, right? A lot of musicians who are kind of waiting to happen.
No, you can't wait, man. You can't wait. It's like, but one thing, all I hope is this, like somebody up there in the top level, please sack those assholes in the division and start hiring the right people who knows the scene, man. That's all I can say, man. You get all the guys who don't know, like I said earlier, it's all people in traditional music and also somebody in a stage play. Paling busuk pun, maybe some guy who can do some musical on stage. That's about it. That's the furthest they go for independent scene. But you got to get the right people in the right spot because there's too many talks, but not the right people talking it. That's all I can say, man.
Betul. And when you think about the times too, now we have this present kind of unity government. I think this is the best time to try elicit some change. So I've been trying to engage with some make our voices heard to some colleagues from scene who are now members of parliament, or in politics. So that's one. But how far can I go? Because there's politics.
But I think the main concern is whether the country is generating revenue. That's the number one question. It's like, for them, it's all about money. Who's making money out of it? So, but if you do it right, I think you can generate money. You just look at domestic tourism on the music sector of it. You imagine gigs and shows. The amount of money you can make out of it, the people from sound system, from bands, people who are selling food, all those kind of things, domestic economy, you can help out on that part. So that's something that needs to be looked into, man. I just hope.
Yeah, and it's got to be long term lah. Now they think like, they saw Parasite won Oscar. Oh, we want to win Oscar. You know how long it took South Korea to get that? 20 years. It was a national policy. 20 years to get it. Didn't happen overnight, So they all think everything like cepat one. You can't plant a tree and expect to just fruit, man. It's gotta.
We have the solution. The number one solution for the past 3-4 decades. Start a reality show. Get judges to go to the other side, and that's it. That's our definition of improving the culture. But I also would suggest, if there's ever a chance you talk to any of those guys, it's like one thing that they have to organize is convention, independent music convention, which involves how to market an artist, what are the platforms, the business aspect of it. I think that's one thing that it's lacking very much in the industry, man. Everybody's turning out music.
and that's lacking in music education too. Because where I teach in a film program. But there's one music subject I can teach. But generally speaking, I think a lot of music, even film programs, don't teach you the not just business side but the operation side. It's very important to
Yeah.
know. Or else you just can do beautiful things, but you can't what you call this stand on your own 2 feet. That's very important. Exactly what you said. That
Yeah.
also needs to be embedded in the education. That's missing.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
gotta
not just
start
talent.
Just take Rainforest Music Festival for example. You have, apart from the show, a lot of people actually admire or rather enjoy that workshops that take place or during the day. You have that so-called music sessions, instrumentals. Those are the kind of things I look forward for in independent scene. It's like you get this thing workshops where guitarists come on board, share their knowledge, drummers, musician, vocalists, all those kind of things. More in the educational side of it, that would help improve the scene a lot, man, in terms of quality and also networking at the same time.
Of course, exactly. It's not just concerts. I mean, that's the thing. We hear a thing that there's organized festival concert, but these side things, like you said, this artist talks, workshops. That's very important. Yeah, because but when you get like maybe a beer company and you think they care about that, they just want open booths. So that's
exactly.
so that's the thing. That's the thing. So it's
Never mind, man. You want to open booth, you book a booth somewhere else. But this give us the money to run this lah.
Betul lah. So yeah. At the moment is I don't see that changing a while. So for me, this kind of like DIY route is.
I've been trying, man. I've been trying to find the right people to start this whole thing up, but I don't know. All the people that I come across is like, I know I'm just going to waste my time and energy. It's going to be discussions after discussions, but nothing's going to kick off on that side, man.
Meeting.
Meeting je. Finish all the curry pop and teh tarik only, but nothing happens.
That's true.
Oh man. Let's talk about your music a little bit, man. So how was it? What's the latest single from you? Like I said earlier, you've been churning out music like nobody's business. I lost track. I need to know what's the latest one from you right now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna release the next one from Bangi Blues album is Skodeng Blues. That's gonna come up this coming week.
Skodeng Blues.
Yeah, so this one's for the Mama Skodengs out there. Yeah.
I haven't heard that word in a long time. Skodeng.
We have a lot of wonderful words, right, in the colloquial language. So I always wonder, like, when I'm gonna use. I'm surprised nobody's written about the Skodeng. People talk about Skodeng. I mean, all this music rates also should got Skodeng, man. That's why they get.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something that's timely. Yeah, so I'm gonna release the lyric video, music video. The animations by a friend. She plays in a band too called Ting Tong Cats. Shika, she did the animation. Yeah, so this is our second collaboration. Yeah, Ting Tong Cats, a punk band.
Check that out.
Yeah, check them out, man. But it's our second collaboration for a song from the album. We did Kapok back in, I think, 2020. So this is a follow-up. So that's coming out this week during the tour. So just stay tuned to my social media. I'm going to post something,
let me try to track back a little bit about John Bangi Blues right now. How many tracks are there in that particular album?
There's 10. So I think I've released as singles, was loosely singles. I think 5 or 6. This must be 6, I think. So I'm planning to make music videos for all the songs. It's all collaboration with filmmakers, some of my students.
Okay.
So there's several coming along the way. So this is the first one for 2023. So I'm planning to make all the songs become a single. This kind of against not the industry norm, Plus my window to promote the album is 5 years. Usually people like 12 months, right? Album out, next one. No, you don't have to, man. Yeah, why don't you go? Yeah, take your time.
You got to do it, man. 5 years that's a good plan, man. Pretty long plan.
Yeah.
So you still stay relevant for 5 years at least, like instead of having the big gap.
Betul. And it's a marketing move lah. Quiet for a while, then muncul. I'm still here. Yeah.
No, dude, I got to admit it. You didn't go quiet. As far as I'm concerned, it's like I see something that's impossible to say. I mean, Azmyl Yunor was quiet, man. I was like, wait, kat sini. But what I admire also is like you, apart from doing solo, you do a lot of collabs in terms of being on sharing the stage with a lot of bands, and I thanks to you, I discovered a lot of them through your tour itself. I was like, oh, this guy's here. Okay, this band, I got to check them out. So, which is an
Nice.
amazing thing. I think a lot of bands should start doing that more, man.
Yeah, that's part of
More
the plan, lah.
collabs.
I think. Yeah, that's I think the main thing. And again, that's something that's very common in the DIY underground scene. It's like because you're a community, you meet as friends. Hey, let's do something together, and it's very informal. Like you said, lah. Somebody might be signed to a label, then say, I want to collaborate with this artist. Or let the labels talk to each other first. And they'll probably have this meeting with curry pups that don't go anywhere. and then they don't get to collaborate. There's all that.
Oh,
I
man.
just had a conversation with another friend. I did a vocal recording this morning. So this is another thing coming up. It's a collaboration with this Singaporean songwriter Art Fazil, but the main guy is Rul Dawis, Indonesian singer-songwriter. We collaborated a couple years ago with a song called For Better Days. So that was another song.
Okay.
So it's like We Are the World, a bunch of different guys singing.
Nice.
But I was having a conversation. My friend was recording me today at the studio, and the same thing lah. Just came out and said these things about like wanting to, you want to go mainstream, go all the way lah. But mainstream you can expect lah. Like you become, and I said when you're a label, you're an employee.
Yeah, exactly.
You can romanticize all you want. Oh, in a label, you're an employee.
No, I think that was more applicable about 10, 15 years ago. That was, I'm in a label. Now you say I'm a label means that, you're broke.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And, and your social media is amazing. Maybe that's the only thing good of being a label. Like,
even that I've seen, even the social media part of it, I've come across. I don't want to mention name, but I always like to keep it classified. I was just talking to one or two guys. It's like even that, you can come up with a bunch of songs. This is what happened with what's going on with some of the labels, not all, some of the labels. This guy gets signed up. He has a whole bunch of tracks, which is awesome. But then again, the label chooses the crappiest track on earth and releases them. It's like you have so many good stuff, but you pick the crappiest one and you make them do things that you're not known for. And then you wonder why he didn't succeed. That even then also your social media has been controlled so much, which you have to post, not even the labels posting for you. You have to do it, but get approval from social media. So what's the purpose of having the label? I give you a bit of money, make 2 songs, and that's about it. I'm not even making money out of it. So I don't know.
You're still doing it yourself, huh?
Yeah, you're still doing it yourself. I got to handle the social media. I got to come up with the music. I got to do every single thing. And you just stand there and pick the songs which is I don't like. That's the kind of thing. So I do not know whether the so-called labels are relevant anymore these days, man.
Yeah, it's just called a label, but it doesn't serve its purpose as a traditional label should have, right? Yeah, you don't have that nurturing is missing, right?
The selling, the distribution. That was nice at one point in time. The ad, this so-called media runs, but I don't see that much happening lately. Some of the labels, man.
It's quite later. So there'll be some bands that I like in the past that I wanted, like, hey, I like you guys. Can you guys play this gig I'm organizing? Oh, I gotta talk to a label first. And then you don't hear from them. I was like, okay, maybe there's a second. So I was like,
the moment I get stuff like you talk to my manager, that's it. I delete your number from my phone. I don't waste time.
I do that. Talk to my manager. For me, talk to my manager. Hold on. Hi, I'm the manager.
No, I know some of my buddies. I know some of my buddies who started off as nobody and then they made it to the industry. So sometimes I have a chat. I said, dude, I want to do this and all the chat on the podcast. Huh? Oh, you got to talk to my manager. I'll pass you my manager's number. I said, fuck you. That's it. That's only 2 words that comes out. I said, don't give me this drama and all this kind of things. Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm going to pay you about $50,000, $60,000, I'm going to talk about price or whatever. You pass me your manager's number. I understand. But other than that, don't give me this drama. Talk to my manager. Yeah, betul.
Yeah, man. Come on.
Manager these days also just collect invoice, collect payment, send invoice, collect payment. That's it.
Betul. Again, this is something you can do on your own, man. Yeah, just gotta be industrious. So talking about industrious also, because since I'm my own, I decided on my own. So this year I'm gonna also what's the right word? Reissue my first proper album. It's 25th anniversary. So nice. I released a cassette in 1998. It's called Folk. It's my first proper one that I did because I made a cover and all that. So it's 25 years old. So I'm cleaning up the album. My friend Arif Ahir, singer-songwriter, who also I usually collaborate, even on Job Bangi Blues, we co-produce. He's cleaning those tracks up. Gonna launch it during, I don't know, maybe one of the cassette store days, record store days, but cassette format.
Oh,
So yeah, 25th anniversary this year, sometime this year. Fingers crossed.
cassette format. Okay, that's going to be interesting, man. Do I have a
Cassette
cassette
format.
Going to start?
But it will come with download code inside. Yeah, so you can go
Okay.
maybe to a Bandcamp. That's how we used to do it. Like you have it, so you can download the digital high quality. Try to avoid putting on Spotify too much. John Bangi Blues is completely not on Spotify yet. So probably one song I might put early this year.
Yeah,
So,
but yeah, Spotify, is it worth it? I don't know, man. Too much. There's a lot of
again.
hype there.
Yeah, you use it for very specific purpose lah, but not to like just put your whole album there lah. For me,
Yeah.
you know.
I think Spotify is a place where you put after you're done with all your marketing and all this kind of stuff.
Betul.
Lagu dah overplay already. Okay, then you put it over there lah.
Yeah, dump
There's
to
some
the
of-
you know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that most some of the guys I know do. It's like, I want to make my money out of these songs first, then I dump it on Spotify. So it's like continuation of their marketing lah.
Yeah, so like already John Bangi Blues pulp dah done already, and then I Spotify.
Yeah, it's a good idea lah.
Yeah,
Let's make it
I want
happen.
bring people to my channels first. Like I got my YouTube channel, you know. So yeah.
It should be good. It should be good. I think that's a brilliant way of doing it. If I wish everybody would come together and start focusing on that, because Spotify, I don't know, man, it's nice, and I don't know at the same time, unless you're getting 1 million views a month or million plays or 100,000 plays, that's a different thing. But if it's not, then I don't know whether it's worth it or not.
Yeah, you gotta have that reality check. Like I know for a fact that I don't really push it. Whatever, all my don't need stuff I have on Spotify, my old albums.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I mean, like, I don't like to push it because then it's like I'm advertising for the company. It's like,
The merchandise. You need to get the merch out, man. I love people. I love bands who release the merch out. I'm always a fan of that because it's nothing like, like especially when you say cassette or CD, it's just going through the inlays, reading the lyrics, looking at the pictures. It's nice. Like it's the personal touch to it. It's like Spotify. I just see, and the worst part about Spotify, I've noticed a lot. People hardly give credit to the right people.
Yeah.
If I'm clicking on Spotify, I want to know who's the guitar player, who played the drums. I want to know who wrote the song. Who made the arrangement, which studio did it. Credits. You need to give credit.
They don't have that.
I don't see that. Yeah, all I hear is one recording label name. That's it.
Yes, there's that pleasure and knowledge of the music culture is missing. So and I always believe that people always come and say, oh, it's going to replace. It's not going to replace because the entire music culture is just not. It's a phase. Yeah. So this is all just hype, man. People buy into that narrative, but there's a lot of people who don't buy also into that narrative. So I get younger people buying my merch, CDs. Like you were wondering, you think like younger people not into it? Actually, no. They like it for the same reason that it's personal. You boleh buka, look at the photos, read the liner notes while listening to the album. Yeah.
That's the thing. You got to have that, man. You really got to have that. I think somebody should come up with another thing where you can have an app. Is if you can't buy a cassette, you can't buy a CD, you have an app where you have all the inlays and all the thing, making it like have like an ebook kind of feel when you purchase a CD. That'd be nice.
Yeah, betul.
Because
cool.
The moment I always believe this, the moment you have something online is easily forgotten.
Yeah. Easily accessible, easily forgotten.
Yeah. The next band comes in, especially Spotify will screw you big time if you don't subscribe to their so-called premium plans or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like the moment you play your song, 3-4 songs yours, and they bring in some other bands, and then you're curious, you check them out, and then it leads to another thing. It's like even when I create my playlist, I create a playlist inside there for about 10-20 songs for my listening pleasure. 2 weeks later, I see so many other bands which I don't even know are in that playlist.
Oh, they do that, huh? Oh.
Yeah, they just slot it in for you.
Sneaky,
Yeah, so it's like, why? Why do you do that, man? It happens a lot, man.
It's like you do, remember a time like mixtapes, suddenly got extra song.
Masuk je lah, everything goes in. But it's cool, man. It's cool. But let's get back to your tour right now, John Bangi Blues tour. 1st of March, that's the first location. And if they would like to get their tickets, like to check you guys out, what do they do? They have it.
I mean, like this whole tour is non-ticketed, no cover charge. It's just tips and they're pushing my merch. Yeah, so I'm playing at Ruas. It's an in-store. Just kind of, it's a solidarity kind of gig for Ruas. Give them a bit of semangat. They still got, I think, the court case coming up. So I'm just gonna play in the cafe like how I did in November, just an in-store. I bring my busking amp. But I might get my friend because I'm there for a music conference. So Adil Johan, my buddy who plays the saxophone, he's in the conference, so we might just jam together. Then on the 3rd, I'm going to Sungai Petani, playing at Space 8000.
Yes, the land of Nasi Royal.
Yeah, so I'll be there. Looking forward to that. It's a rooftop gig, so that's again by entries, no cover charge, but by donation tips. Pushing my merch again. Then on the one at Penang back on the 4th is actually part of the conference. Yeah, that's in the conference. It's a performance lecture. First time I'm doing this, sort of like a performance lecture, being very self-aware about it's called the ethical troubadour. So one day I'll once I've got my shit together with that, I might make it into performance or something somewhere.
Nice.
So that's trying new different things at a conference. So it's a performance lah, officially. But then on the 5th, on a Sunday, I'm at Laman Karya Lumut, also known as Lakap. So that one is playing on the stage for the first time too, checking the space out. Looking forward to it, man. Yeah.
I'm gonna check this place out, Lumut especially, but I doubt I can make it on that date. But I gotta go one of these days and visit because for me, being a Perak boy lah.
That's right.
Lumut, all I knew was Lumut and Teluk Batik, the beach side. That's about it. The music was never in the list before, but right now this place, I got to check it out. I got to do some Googling, man, and find out what.
That's why. I'm equally stoked and very excited because like, wow, okay. So places that I haven't been in ages, and you go there and it's a different vibe, Young people too, probably, but yeah.
I like what you're doing, man. I really like what you're doing. It's like giving a shot and just opening the doors for all these people, and people like us in the Klang Valley are so used to the same location. At least now we know that, hey, there's so many spaces that you can take your bands to instead of just focusing on the same Klang Valley crowd. Like, it's nice. Go on a holiday, take your amps, take your guitars, start doing a show for the fun of it one weekend, right?
Betul, all these guys in Bangkok, they're not committed lah. Nak cuti asyik pergi Europe lah, pergi lah, pergi Bali lah. Come on, just
Taste food lah. No, but
betul,
seriously, I think I got to start a series of my episodes focusing on different states because I've been focusing a lot on Klang Valley. I really got to go on different states. The last I had, the previous episode I had Justin was in Sabah from KK. And I got his style of it. So I just need to find more of that Sarawak and all. I got to start digging up those bands and talking to more of that from Kota Baru ke mana-mana different states. Got to get in touch with all the studio guys, man. I want to know what's there.
Yeah. Not just a musician. Not just a musician. Because that's another thing that gets overlooked, right? Venues. And that's something I'm planning to write about also. So that's the thing. Like we always talk about the bands, but we don't talk about the places they played. And there's a lot of places that don't exist anymore. What's the story behind that? Because venue owners also, they're fighting. They got their own views too.
I'm trying to get in touch. Maybe one of these days I'll just have a chat. Look, one of the guys can have a talk with them. Because some of them are afraid to have a chat with me. They think I might go controversial. It's like, no, I just want to know your side of the story, man.
Yeah, just share anecdotes, the best night, the weirdest night at your venue or whatever.
I gotta chat with some of the studio guys. It's nice to have them on board because I've since you know me, right? Since I started this podcast, I've been getting a lot of emails and messages and WhatsApp saying that, oh, Nav, you got to go focus on mainstream artists and this and that. I'm out. Screw that, man. You got the mainstream radio to do that, especially when
exactly.
KJ to be a DJ, they can hire all those guys to chat with them. Exactly. But I rather focus this part of the world, which is different, man. Nobody gets to see it. Hence the reason why I started this whole show anyway. It's all focused on that side of the world. People get to discover, because I get audiences from outside of Malaysia and they tend to pay attention to all these bands, which I'm surprised. It's I don't get much local guys tuning in. I get people outside tuning in to find out who's the band, who's the music, which is nice. Fantastic. So if we can do more of this, it'd be amazing, man. Hopefully all these guys
The locals tak nak dengar, it's their loss lah. Like ada pula macam the way you said, like as if our responsibility to, come on, they can't get their shit together, they want us. We be doing our own shit, man. You follow our trend and learn. What I mean.
Yeah.
I hate that language that sometimes they use. Oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you shut up? A lot of people do that, right? I'm sure lower line, my line, the gig you have to play like, hey, why don't you play this song? Play song. I play what I want, man.
Exactly. It's like, dude, you're here because of me. That's
Exactly.
it. The deal I don't have. If you want me to do, you do it first. Then I'll follow.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's a lot.
You want me to do something? You give me the budget, right? You want me to do for you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too. I get it. Oh, you should have this kind of camera. You should have that. You focus this. I say, dude, I don't even have time to have my meal. And you want me to do 1,000 things. A one-man show, I don't have a whole studio production to do this thing. So, but it happens a lot, man. It happens a lot. Oh, you should do this. You should do that. I hate that. Man. You're right.
They're the ignorant ones, lah.
Yeah. And they'll disappear. 2 weeks later, they'll disappear. Then they come back again after 6 months with another new advice.
Yeah.
Stop the advice.
Yeah,
been in the business long enough.
Poking into other people's business because their own lives might be very meaningless and empty, maybe.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
I could imagine, man. They have a lot of this because even in social media, we notice that some people are a bit frustrated when they look at these bands and they post on social media, nampak glamour, that's the kind of life I want to live and all. But they don't understand the shit that the band goes through on a daily basis in order to get one song out. It's like the life is different, man. It's easy to have that so-called assumption that everything is perfect on the other side. So.
Betul. Yeah. I mean, there's also this. I think in creative education, there's a term they say like there's a 10,000 hours that you don't see that goes into an artist or their works, and that's where. It's like sports too, right? They say the greats make it look easy, but they didn't just become great overnight, I
think there's one Usain Bolt is like he just made 10 seconds, 100 meters, just 10 seconds, but for that 10 seconds, years and hours of practice goes in to the works just for that one moment, man. This 10 seconds is done. Yeah, that's how it works, man. Like for me, I always appreciate bands, not for the music. It's their journey and what happens behind the scenes. That's what I always admired. I don't care whether you're a perfect singer. I don't care if you're a perfect musician. I don't care if you have the perfect product, but the initiative, the effort you put in to create that so-called music or whatever things that you're doing shows, that's what catches my attention to the maximum. The guys who just go all out for it and know what... I don't know, do or die, let's go all out for it. Those are the kinds I always admire, and I always have big respect for those kind of people.
Yeah, celebrating being alive, man. And something I think people take for granted every year. Yeah,
that's something I always admire. Well, anything else is coming up for you apart from this tour? Are you going to go on a season 3 break or whatever?
My so-called break, this tour is, I'm sure something might crop out in April. That will come announced. Like I said, I tend to improv this thing. After Raya, maybe. I might chill a bit, work on... I haven't had time to... every time I pick up guitar, a song comes out. So I just need to conjure that maybe. But I'm trying to maybe finish up the stuff on that re-release of my 25th anniversary first album. So you'll hear more from me, inshallah.
Good. Lagu Raya juga.
Great. We'll see. I might come up with something. Let me respond with things. Budget baru now. So, there's all these fun things happening around us, right? There's just material, For me, I never run out.
Yeah, for you guys write songs, I write social media posts.
It's material. Yeah. What do you do? This abundance of material. This noise, right? Yeah. Let's do something about it. Instead of just getting annoyed with it, let's make it something our own. So that's being sustainable.
I'm so looking forward for a Lagu Raya, your version of it, man.
Okay. I'll try this year. I'll try this year. Been a while. I haven't. Lalu malas but I'll do it. I'll try this year.
I'm gonna try it. Man. I just like your version of things, man. Anything to do with your style of music, I'll be in love with it, man. Don't have to say before you release. Man. I say it's cool, man. Got to check it
All
out.
right.
All right. Before I wrap things up, March 1st, Ruah Store, Georgetown. That's the location. You got to check out. 3rd of March, space 008,000 Sungai Petani. Then on 4th of March, Penang House of Music, Georgetown. 5th of March, Lakar Lumut. These are the locations you have to be in March. From the 1st to the 5th, there's a nice long tour down there. Details you can find out at Azmyl's social media pages, which is Instagram, Facebook, apa lagi ya? Twitter.
Twitter. Tu je tiga. Simple je.
Tiga. So you got 3 places down there. I'll share it to the website. Is there anything else you like to add on as well before we wrap things up?
Oh, nothing lah. Everybody just stay safe, stay sane, man. Come down, come on out. You know, things are opening up. Yeah, let's see this year how this year turns out.
Should be a good year.
Should be a good year. Just stay sane, you know, stay sane and healthy.
Good, man. I wish you all the best, buddy. I wish you all the best for
Thanks,
your
man.
whole journey, tour, and of course, in advance, just in case I don't see you or have a chat with you before Raya, Selamat Hari Raya, man.
Thanks, man.
Advance, man.
All right.
Thanks.
Cheers.